Hey guys, so welcome to 10-minute tutorials. Today we're going to work on forearm stand. And forearm stand is actually a posture. Ooh, I'm just going to turn off comments. Okay, so forearm stand is actually a posture that I find really challenging in my own practice. So I'm going to teach you some tricks and drills that help me. I'm no master of forearm stand. I am able to do scorpion forearm stand, which I know some people think of as more advanced, but it really comes down to a lot of factors such as shoulder mobility. So in a scorpion forearm stand, my forearms are here and my chest is reaching through and my gaze is lifting up. So I actually don't need as much range of motion in my shoulders as if I were to try to keep a straight spine in my forearm stand. For that, I have to lift my elbows up overhead without arching my back and splaying my ribs open. So for me, that's a lot more challenging. So we'll go over some exercises though that I think help today. So the first one is going to be a variation of puppy dog. If you don't have blocks at home, I always recommend getting them because this is going to be helpful for your forearm stand practice, but you can find some books or anything to add a little height. So I like to put a blanket over my two blocks on the lowest setting, and the reason I like the blanket is just because the cork blocks can sometimes hit my funny bone, so I just like to have a little cushion there. And you're going to start with your hips over your knees just like you would in puppy dog pose. And you're going to bring your elbows down onto the blocks and make a prayer shape with the hands. Now from here, you're just going to start to let the belly drop down and descend towards the mat. You might have to adjust to get your hips over your knees. If you need to push the blocks forward, you can. And then eventually, you're going to try to bring the hands all the way back towards the heart. You can rest your head on your blocks, or maybe they'll extend all the way to the ground. And while you're doing this, think about wrapping the armpits in to face one another, still finding that external wrap through the shoulders. So my shoulder blades in the back aren't collapsing together, they're still broadening as the chest lowers. And you'll take some breaths here. Good. And then, of course, dolphin pose is sort of the pose that comes before forearm stand. So dolphin is a great thing to be practicing and just holding as you're working towards forearm stand. So a good measurement of where your hands should be in dolphin pose is by grabbing your opposite biceps and then bringing your hands directly forward in front of you. So I'm going to come down to tabletop. I'm going to grab opposite biceps. And then I'm going to bring my hands straight in front of my elbows. And even before I lift up into my dolphin, I want to press through the outer edge of my elbows, inner edge of my wrist. So outer edge of the elbows, inner edge of the wrist. And then I'm going to tuck my toes, lift my hips back, downward, or dolphin. Now, in my dolphin, one of the things to work on, other than just finding that press, outer edge of elbows, inner edge of wrist, is eventually walking the feet in closer. So the more you can start to open up through the hamstrings, the easier it is to eventually stack the hips over the shoulders, and you won't have to use as much momentum to kick up into forearm stand. Good. So in your dolphin, if you want to eventually play with lifting one leg then the other, you're going to shift forward to get your shoulders over the elbows. You're going to gaze between the wrists. You're going to lift one leg and just hold. Keep pressing the shoulders. If they're shrugging towards the ears, press them away from the ears. And then set one leg down and make sure to do the other side. Great. Another great exercise in your dolphin is bringing the forehead forward to kiss the mat and coming back. So rocking forward and back, forward utilizing muscles of the shoulders, the rotator cuff, that help you in forearm stand. So I would say do about 10 of those, or until you start to feel the shoulders are firing up. So another type of dolphin push-up that you can do is starting in your down dog, and then you're going to lower your elbows down behind the wrist. Try not to let them come out to the sides, and then lift back up. So dolphin push-ups, for this to happen, you have to have a down dog with your shoulders wrapping externally. If your armpits are splaying out to the sides, the elbows are going to go out to the sides. So working on your down dog shoulders is a great starting point, so that the elbows lower right behind the wrist, and then lift back up. Now you can also break this down one elbow at a time. Elbow, elbow, lift, lift, elbow, elbow, lift, lift. And then eventually work up to both forearms down at the same time. Okay, taking a little breather breaks in between these exercises. These are challenging exercises. I think that forearm stand, while it might not be as scary as handstand for some of us, is still a lot more challenging on the shoulders. It's that arm strength. So the last exercise, similar to push-ups, is going from plank to dolphin. So you're going to come to your high plank, shoulders over the wrist, heels over toes. And then as you exhale, you're going to lower the elbows down, find your dolphin. Inhale, plank. Exhale, dolphin. Inhale, plank. Exhale, dolphin. Whew. So those are some exercises that you can do to strengthen the core and the shoulders. And then I'll show you a few wall exercises. Before we go to the wall, I like to practice with a block because I sometimes feel my elbows really wanting to splay open, or the palms of my hands like to lift off the mat. So I think having this block, and I hold it between my thumb and index finger, sort of like I'm making an L. And that helps me to really draw everything in and engage through the pectoral muscles, press the wrist down. Another thing that you can do to help from the elbows splaying out is you're just learning. So if you're more of a beginner, or me, and just like having a little bit of tools to help me practice, you can bring it around your biceps. And again, you want to measure that you can grab, I don't know if you can see easily, you can grab opposite biceps so you know the distance that your strap needs to be, and then reach the arms forward. So I'll just show you this exercise with both of these. So you're gonna make sure that if I were to sit facing the wall in Dandasana, you then know where your elbows need to be, right? So right about where my hips are. And then you'll turn back around, set up. And then you're going to come into your dolphin. My gaze is between my wrists. I'm pressing through the outer edge of the elbows, the inner edges of the wrist. Now I'm going to start to walk the feet up the wall. The first thing you can do to build strength is just to find this L shape like we do when we practice handstand L on the wall. And hold. And this is incredible workout for the core, the shoulders. You really feel everything here. So try not to let the shoulders shrug towards the ears. Another thing you can do is you can come onto your tiptoes, bend the knees, straighten. Bend, straighten. Try not to let the shoulders collapse as you shift forward. Good. So those are some strength building exercises, and you practice shifting the hips all the way over the shoulders, and it helps you work on that range of motion as well with a little extra support. Now, if you are also wanting a little extra support as you approach coming all the way in to forearm stand. You'll come right back to where you were. And then this time, you might lift one leg overhead. And then switch sides. So you're feeling that stacking motion. It's a lot easier to lift. You don't need as much momentum if you can get everything to stack. Eventually, you might play with lifting. I like to stagger one leg, hug the knee to the chest, helps me lengthen out through the low back. You can also practice staggering both legs. Whew. So, I think one of the things that has been really challenging for me is that I learned scorpion forearm stand before I learned regular forearm stand, so my tendency is to just go straight into that deep back bend, but now it's even that much harder for me to find a straight spine, lower ribs in, work on that shoulder range of motion, strengthening that mobility. So if you can, I would work on finding a straight forearm stand before you go into a scorpion forearm stand. That way the spine doesn't immediately go into the muscle memory of arching. Okay, so I think we are up on time. Thanks for tuning in. If you have extra questions, there's also a ton more drills out there, so if you want any other exercises, just let me know, and I hope everyone has a great day.